Hi, my name is Kenneth. Uh, we have assignment 6.2, which is final project, my community analysis. We are presenting findings. So we have the overview. As when you go through, we have been doing most of these assignments before this week. Basically, when you go through the overview, you come to the instruction. And I'm looking at you need to explain these three essential things during our presentation. So what did I build? What did I build it? Why did I build it? And how did I build it? So the deliverables are here. When you go through, you realize what you're supposed to do. So basically, let me turn to my PowerPoint and take you through what I have. And this is my PowerPoint and my community analysis presentation prepared by me, and this is the overview. So I have the two communities I analyzed before, which is the Aging Congress and congressional resignations. So in each community, we did 4 questions, which brings us to a total of 8 in number. Each question answer uses SQL in SSMP. Maybe let me open. Or first, we created a database sometime back, which is my community database. You can see here. And the datasets we've used, it was out of the 2 communities, which is the Aging Congress and congressional resignation as part of the tables in the database. So what I built. So I built a full SQL-based analytical project, which is clean, transform, and analyze 2 datasets, which I've talked about. I produce 8 analytical answers using transactionals, standard query language. I use Windows function, grouping joins, and the CTEs. Why I built it? I basically built to understand real-world communities, which is distributed into the Aging Congress and congressional resignation. This deal a lot with the age distribution and pattern in Congress, and also what brings about the resignation as one of the parameters we shall be seeing. And then to practice and focus on skill analysis to generate useful insight for decision makers. So how I built it, I loaded dataset in my community database. I cleaned the field using try cast, try convert, and CTEs. Convert raw question answers, focus SQL, then I verify accuracy by running all the script in the SQL Server Management Studio that we shall be seeing shortly. So my community 1 is Aging Congress. So the first question focus on the median age by party. Second one is average age by session and chamber, generation distribution by party, then average cumulative congressional years. The second community is congressional resignation. So here I compared resigned members' age versus overall age. And then resignation count by Congress and party, top 10 resignation, then reasons, resignation per year, and top categories. The SQL concept used here is the city is with us. Then the Windows function, which is percentile count when we are dealing with the media. Then raw numbers. Group by this is an aggregation. Then we join between data sets. Then we extract it with the year function. So we shall be going to the SQL Server Management Studio, and we look at all these numbers. So this is my first community, which is the Aging Congress. So this is the database we're going to use. My database I show you here. These are the table we're going to deal with: aging and congressional resignation. So in each community, it has its own question and answer. So the first question in community 1, we are dealing with the median age by party, which I showed you before that we are going to use percentile and Windows function, as you can see here. So basically, when you look at the main column we deal with here, so we are looking at the age data. So when I run this first SQL statement, it is supposed to give us the party, the median age, and members count, which is what we've been looking at. The second question is average age and members count by Congress and Chamber. This one shows our age varies across session and chamber. So if I run this, should be able to. So the second question focuses on average age and members count, like I said. So we are going to show our age varies. And when I run the query, like before, you realize this is the Congress, chamber, age, then members count. When you go to chambers, when you go to chambers, we have two houses. We have Senate and House. So you realize how the ages varies from there. Then the third question, distribution by party. This one we are counting how many members belong to each generation per party. So when I run the script, should be able to give us party, generation, members count. You look at under generation, you look at the greatest, silent, loss, boomers, missionary, Gen X, progressive. In this, you can count. And you look at the members count. These are the numbers in that category. So the last question in this community is average cumulative year in Congress. So here we are looking at the average cumulative years in Congress. So if I run this statement, then you look at the average cumulative Congress in. Now here under chamber, you'll see Senate and House. So average cumulative Congress here, you have in Senate, we have 7.1, which is a member count of 5,498 members. Then House is 5.0, which is 23,622. So basically, you realize that we tend to convert the questions into a usable decision making when it comes to writing a SQL query. So that was my first community. So in my second community, which is congressional resignation, let's look at we are still going to use the same database like we said. Now, question 1, we are comparing average age of resigned members, and we are matching it by only what Congress. So overall age is also age in Congress for the same Congress. Now, this statement is divided into very many parts. Now, the first part, we are extracting Congress number. We are extracting the Congress numbers. This first part here. Now, the second part, we compute the average age of resigned members. Then we call the first T. This is like a variable we created when we were extracting the Congress number. So it was saved as Congress num. So when it comes to, so from the same table, after saving that number, so we compute the average age of resigned members. So we use the variable created up, then we get the average. We also we convert this as a float, that is a decimal number. So, and we join aging Congress. This is a join. That is the second part. Now, we also group them. After grouping, we compute overall average age per Congress. Now, overall age per Congress. So Congress, as these are also variable which was created up. So we are just using them. And here you can see they are only matching by Congress number. So the same variable there, we have called it here to compute the overall age. Now, then the final comparison is now we select this variable we have been creating, that was Congress num, then we now save it as Congress. These are aliases. So basically here we're getting the different. Now when we get the different we are supposed to get the difference between the average number and the overall average age. Then it will give us this difference. So when we run this statement, we're supposed to get an output. Let me run it quick. So when I run, this is the Congress. So these are resigned average age at 51. Then the overall average age is also at 51, which gives us a difference of 0 because we take this resigned average age from overall average age. It is still giving us average difference of 0. That is about the first question. The second question, resignation count by Congress and party. Now, when we run this statement, what do we get? This is the Congress party resignation count. Now, in 100 Democrats, 3 resignation. In 101st, Republicans, 6 in number. And in that pattern, you can look at it here. Follow the pattern. So, how about the top 10 most common resignation? When I run this, you realize that the first one, and this one was graded in descending order from the biggest to the smallest. You can see the occurrences. You can see appointed federal judges 60, elected U.S. Senate 35, appointed U.S. Senate in that order. And then the last question here is resignation per year and top categories. So when I select this and run, sorry, running into an error. Let me run again. Yes. So resignation, like the first column is year, category, and category count. 2018, category D, one count. So you follow that order. So basically that is it about the two communities and what we are looking at. Maybe something I would add is when I go back to my PowerPoint, basically I'm looking at the main focus of what I built, why I built it, how I built it. I've explained all this. Now it comes to the data set we use. What am I saying? Why did we build this and how does it help? Okay, this basically help a political analyst, government, and very many institutions that would want to deal with the electoral and community demographic of USA. Basically, if you look at the data set, and it is helpful because it gives them opportunity to make the rightful decision on what is supposed to be done and how to adjust some of the laws. Yeah. So basically that, and I would say thank you for watching. I would be inviting a comment. So yeah, bye.